So if that's short term, how does my body change long term? Now you're asking the right questions, my friend. That's a whole nother conversation. But let's get into it. Sorry, man. I had to get my glasses a bit sunny outside. But apparently I had to change my fleece as well. What are the long-term impacts of exercise on my heart? Now you want to know what happens to your body cardiovascularly? So let's go into it. There are many long-term adaptations. The long-term effects of exercise on our cardiovascular system include, but are not limited to, we're going to go through four. Your heart doesn't actually look like this. Your heart looks different. But your heart gets stronger and it pumps more blood with each beat. Now, this pumping more blood with each beat is known as an increased stroke volume. The bottom one here, we have a reduced resting heart rate. We also have new capillaries that appear in our muscle tissue. What this leads to, increased O2 delivery, so increased oxygen delivery. There's a better removal of waste products. Okay, this also allows us to have better endurance, and we have better or higher energy production. Now, I haven't written it down just because of space, but we also have a lower resting blood pressure. You should definitely get into the gym if you're not already, because it should sort your blood pressure out if you have high blood pressure. Or if you have family history of high blood pressure, get into the gym to fight against it. Like I said, I've also been feeling like I'm a lot more energetic. So what's happening from that angle? Interesting. So you're feeling like you have more energy as a result of doing more exercise? Let's go into the mechanisms as to why. So for our energy, we have our mitochondria, which multiply in our muscle cells. Okay. Now what this leads to is increased energy production capacity. We're going to do a little side mission on the mitochondria, and then we're going to return. So here's our side mission. We're going to be talking about mitochondria. Our mitochondria, I'm sure everyone knows, it's the powerhouse of the cell.
The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
So this powerhouse, we said, it increases our energy production capacity. But where is energy stored? So the energy that the mitochondria produces is stored in a molecule known as ATP. It stands for adenosine triphosphate. This is essentially, in a simple term, the body's energy currency. I'll go deeper into this in another episode, all right? Later on in the year or later on down the line. This is a simple whistle-stop tour and a breakdown of sort of what mitochondria is and where the muscle or where energy is stored. Back to the video, and we're back. We also have increased efficiency at burning fat for fuel, which means that you can actually become leaner as a result. And this ties into our body composition, which we're going to speak about shortly. We also have increased glycogen storage in our muscles, which means that our body can resort to using immediate sugar or fast sugar sources for energy when we're doing high intensity exercises like, for example, lifting weights, sprints, etc. Now, the last one is part of our energy. Okay, we have stabilized energy throughout the day, which means that we have fewer energy crashes. So when you hit midday, a lot of people they tend to have that kind of slump, energy slump, but exercise actually stabilizes it and reduces the impact of that sort of midday slump. I'm not gonna lie, like I said, I've only been coming for a couple of months, but I'm already getting some definition in my chest, my shoulders, like it's great. So you're becoming more lean. Alright then. Well, when you have more muscle mass, you naturally burn more calories. But then it also means that you're burning more fat as a result. Let me teach you a little bit more about it long term. Now let's move on to body composition. It's clear when you go to the gym, you start working out, you're building new muscle tissue, you're going to get leaner. That means that you're actually reducing in your body fat percentage, and we spoke about caloric afterburn in the previous video. Increased muscle mass, as well as reducing body fat percentage, it also increases our RMR. Now, RMR stands for our resting metabolic rate. This is essentially how many calories your body burns in a fully rested state. So imagine you're just laying in bed all day, you're not doing anything. If you have more muscle mass, it means that you need more fuel, and it also means that your body can burn more calories throughout the day as a result of having more muscle mass. But let's go into why RMR is good, or having a higher RMR is better. Having a higher RMR, rest a bit. Having a higher RMR, a resting metabolic rate, actually means that we have better mitochondrial health. So we spoke about mitochondria being important for energy production and energy production capacity. Capacity. But this increased or better mitochondrial health is associated with higher muscle mass as well. Okay, so skeletal muscle mass. And this essentially improves our body's metabolic efficiency. We also spoke about having higher muscle mass in previous videos that probably weren't as structured as this one, but we also spoke about it and how it's actually very important to have higher muscle mass, because higher muscle mass is associated with a reduced risk of diabetes, reduced risk of heart disease. We have better brain function or cognitive function. We also have improved symptoms of stuff like anxiety and depression. So there are so many factors to having actually a higher amount of muscle mass and the things that it's associated with. So just remember that. I also feel like my sleep is getting better. My mood is a lot more stable. Like on a day to day, my brain just feels so clear. It makes sense that you feel a little bit more mental clarity, your sleep is getting better, but also your stress resilience improves. Your brain is responsible for a lot of different things. So let's speak about it. Now, our brain health. The long-term adaptations of our brain health. Our brain develops new neurons. We also have an increased strength of our neural pathways. So we spoke about in the last episode about the synapses and the strength of connection and going over the synaptic cleft. Reduced anxiety and depression symptoms as a result. And this is linked to our mood regulator chemicals like serotonin, endorphins, dopamine, etc. Improved sleep quality. And this improved sleep quality leads to improved cognitive function. Sleep is associated with better brain health as well. Exercise is known to impact sleep positively, which then should improve our cognitive function too. We have better hormonal regulation. And what this leads to is we have improved stress resilience. Higher serotonin release is actually associated with a better perception of stress. And you also have higher stress tolerance. That's crazy. I didn't realize that the body was associated with so many changes when you work out. Yeah, man, the human body is amazing. But do you know why you should be training now instead of waiting until you're older? Now you're just roping me into more. Okay, well, I need to go home. When I come back next time, then you can tell me about why we should exercise and the implications that it has on us when we grow older.